All right, got an email question about this, question 1033. So I'll put this one up on the Algebra 1 parking lot on YouTube. Remember, if you email me any questions about problems, I'll either respond back to you via email or I'll film the video, put it on the parking lot. I won't say your name in the video, so don't worry about that. Anyways, find the equation of an exponential function, y equals a times b to the x power, passing through the following points: 2, 3.84, that ordered pair, and 3, 3.072, that ordered pair. Got a little homework help here, but we're not going to bother with that because you're talking to good old Mr. Fortin right here. Okay, so the deal is, first semester you learned how you could, if you're given 2 points right here, right? This is x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. Given 2 different points, you could come up with an equation of a linear function, right? Through 2 points, exactly one line could be drawn. So in first semester, you figured out how to take those 2 points and figure out the equation that would be a solution for those points in the form y equals mx plus b. So if you know how to do that, if you remember how to do that, then hey, you definitely know how to do this in other forms where we have x and y, and then we only have 2 parameters. So notice this here, in y equals mx plus b, there are 2 parameters, right? M, the slope, and b, the y-intercept. And y equals a times b to the x, we just need to figure out what a is. Okay, remember a is your y-intercept, right? The value of y when x equals 0, because if x is 0, then it's b to the 0th power, and b would just b to the 0th power would be equal to 1. Anyways, y-intercept, and then also b, and we got to remember, from exponential functions, they grow up through multiplication, so b is the multiplier. So a few different ways to solve this one. This one's actually a little bit easier, I want to say, than some of the exponential function problems here. And the reason for this is that you have consecutive x values. So notice this here. Your x value is only getting bigger. Your delta x is only getting bigger by 1. Okay, this is x is increasing by 1. Every single time x gets bigger by 1, you have to multiply by the multiplier. So the question is, what is b? Okay, what is b? So 3.84 times by b is going to get you to 3.072, right? It's going to get you to 3.072. So you could put this over here, right? 3.84. Okay, think of this kind of as like a sequence almost, right? Term 2 is 3.84. Term 3 is 3.072. So the question is, what do you need to multiply 3.84 by in order to get to the next term of a sequence, or really just the next x value, integer x value at least, for this function here? So 3.072. So pretty obviously here, what you need to do is to divide backwards, right? You need to take the shortcut that I tell you guys is divide backwards, right? So 3.072 and then divide it by the earlier value, right? Because this is x equals 2 versus x equals 3. So if I divide both sides by 3.84, I'm going to solve for b. Yoink, yoink, and we get b equaling, and let's grab the calculator on up here. And we would have to multiply 3.84 by 0.8 to get to 3.072. Notice here, 3.072 is larger than 3.84. So when we were dividing by 3.84, we were expecting a quotient of less than 1. You divide a number by a number that is bigger, right? You're going to need a quotient of less than 1 if both numbers are positive at least. So there we go. And b equals 0.8. Okie dokie, so that's good. We got b, we just need to get a. A few different ways to do it, right? One thing is that, right, I labeled this x1, y1 for a reason, because you could just take this x1 and this y1 and plug it in for the variables here, x and y, and you know what b is, you know that parameter. That leaves just one parameter left, which is going to be the a parameter, and we're going to find that next, because we know what b is now, right? We can plug in for x and we can plug in for y, and that's one way to get this thing done. So let's plug in 3.84 for y, and then a is what we're going to have to solve for, and then let's plug in 0.8 for x, sorry, b, and then for x we need to plug in 2. Okay, we plug in 2. All right, reverse Pemdas rules for solving. This is something I'm going to get into videos a little bit later, but if you're plugging in for a, remember, if you plugged in something for a, you'd have to do the Pemdas rules, right? Order of operations. You'd have to simplify parentheses first, no parentheses to simplify here. Then you'd have to multiply okay? And then you'd have to do your exponents. Sorry, you do exponents first. You do exponents first. It's PEMDAS after all. So parentheses and then exponents. So exponent here. So I have to do 0.8 squared first, and then multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, yada, yada, yada. You get the idea of order operations. If you're solving for A, you do the opposite, okay? So you do the opposite here. So this is going to be something that I'm going to write in a lot of videos coming up next week, but you're going to do the opposite of PEMDAS, which is SADMEP. SADMEP. Yes, that's PEMDAS spelled backwards. PEMDAS. And spelled backwards is SADMEP. So this is sort of an order to undo an equation in order to solve it. Our chapter we're in right now is solving complex equations. So, right, that's why I'm going to tell you, hey, if you're going to undo an equation, follow this rule, follow this order here. Get rid of SADMEP. Anyways, the reason why I write that is because you're going to first get rid of subtraction, then you're going to get rid of addition, then you're going to get rid of division, then multiplication, then exponent, and then parentheses. So, anyways, maybe one thing you would do here, I'm kind of going on too long. This is kind of unnecessary in order to get this. I'm going to do 3.84 here, and then I'm actually going to follow PEMDAS rules to actually simplify this a bit here, because this is 0.8 being squared, so I might as well do that, right? 0.8 squared is 0.64, right? 0.8 times 0.8. So this would actually be A times by 0.64. Okay, you don't multiply 0.8 times the A first and then square it, right? This 0.8 is the base of what's being squared, so you get 0.64 here. So anyways, ignore this whole thing. Save that for later when stuff is more complex than this. And to solve for A, we just need to divide both sides by what technically would be the coefficient of A here, right? We could have written 0.64A, divide both sides by 0.64. And then we're going to get 3.4 divided by 6.84. Sorry, 0.64. And 6. Okay, so A equals 6. Are we done? We done? We solved for something here. We solved for another thing here. No, we need to find the equation in this form. So my final answer, let my final answer be in purple. Let's do it. Let's get in this form right here. So we're going to do y equals, remember, a function is a relationship between x and y that has one output for an x, sorry, for a y. For any given input x that goes in the function, we'll have one output for y, at most one output for y. So it's an x and y relationship, and then this a and b thing, those are parameters. Those aren't independent or dependent variables. So at the end of the day, if you're finding the equation of a function, you're not going to see a in it, you're not going to see b in it, you'll just see x and y. So we're just going to replace what we found for b and what we found for a in order to write the equation of this function. So y equals 6 times by 0.8 to the x power. And this is one of a few ways that we have to get there, okay? If this were a more complex problem, right, we got to the answer here, but I'll tell you it's more complex, and the x values were not consecutive here, right? Consecutive meaning going from 2 to 3, or 3 to 4, or 4 to 5, right? So it's easy to figure out what b is, but let's divide backwards. If it were skipping by a lot more, I would recommend setting up a system. So remember this was setting up a system in the form y equals 8 times b dx. So you could do this 2 times. So maybe you solve it this way. 3.84 equal to a times by b to the second power, and then 3.072 equals a times b to the third power, right? Because here our x is 3. Okay? So then you can actually solve this one to the equal values method by isolating it. Here's how you do that, right? Divide both sides by b squared here, divide both sides by b squared, and then a would equal 3.84 over b squared. Okay, that equals a right here. And then also, if we isolated a here, we could divide both sides by b cubed, and I would get 3.072 over b cubed. And then what I would do here is multiply both sides by b cubed. See how this is a lot messier? This is why I didn't want to do this one, because you didn't have to do this divide both sides by b cubed. So this here, this 3.172 gets divided by b cubed, then it's multiplied by b cubed. So those are going to cancel out. This end, it was just more simple to do it with the consecutive x's here. Getting b was a lot easier. Anyways, hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this answered your question, and I will talk to you guys soon on the next Zoom call. Best of luck on problems. Email me anytime. Bye.